Good morning, everybody. Let's see. We are using a new platform this morning, so hopefully it's going to work for us. Join on in and let's see if we can get everybody online for a little bit of girl chat, some questions, and some updates, and any comments that you might have to share. Good morning. I see comments coming in. Yay! That means it's working. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Welcome, welcome, ladies. It's so good to connect with you. Girl chat is something that we used to do, I don't know, maybe once a month, just informal, an opportunity for you to see my face and the faces of those that are on the executive leadership team, just to give you an opportunity to hear about updates and ask your questions in an informal setting and also in a private setting, since we are in our private group. Clearly, this is not open to all of the public Facebook world. So you can feel free to ask any questions and get any guidance that you might want to get while we're here. So couple things that I'll share this morning, and if you'll just keep the comments coming in, any questions that you have, we'll be sure to address all of those questions. I first want to just start by welcoming all of the new ladies who have joined our Facebook group recently. If I haven't met you in person yet, my name is Joy Allen. I'm the founder and the leader right now for Inner Peace, and I'm so excited to have you as part of our Black and Gold family. Please feel free, if you haven't already, to introduce yourself in the group. Make sure that you are participating in conversations and having discussions and asking questions. And please, please, please come out to one of our monthly meetings. That's the best way to get the benefit of being a part of Inner Peace. So speaking of monthly meetings, let me start with one great announcement that I'm just really excited about, and you probably already heard it, but you're going to keep hearing it. We are finally beginning to expand our chapter program. So we are starting with our first additional chapter in Spring Lake, North Carolina. For those of you who are not familiar with where that is, it's basically Fayetteville. So Spring Lake is like an extension of Fayetteville. We have an amazing instructor who will be leading that chapter. Her name is Andrea Williams. If you have not had the opportunity to work with her, she is absolutely phenomenal, very professional, very poised, and even more, very educated with everything 2A and gun related. So if you are in that area, you definitely want to go out and join that particular chapter. Now, that chapter is kicking off this month on July 28th. She is having a launch party right there at Silhouette's Firearms Training. It's an awesome organization that she has founded, and you want to be a part. I believe the address is 1165 North Bragg Boulevard, I think, if that's correct. If it's not, somebody correct me, but that's where it's going to be on the 28th of this month at 6 o'clock p.m. We'll be kicking off with an interest meeting and a launch meeting. And then she will begin in August with her monthly meetings taking place on the third Sunday of every month at 5 o'clock p.m. So that's the third Sunday for Spring Lake. If you are in the Raleigh area, we'll continue with our Raleigh chapter meetings. We meet the second Sunday of every month at 5 o'clock p.m. at Eagle One right here in Raleigh. That address is 4410 Craftsman Drive, right here again in Raleigh, North Carolina, every second Sunday at 5 o'clock p.m. Why do you want to come to meetings? Well, VIP members, this is the biggest benefit of your membership. We do allow guests or anyone who is not a member to come to a meeting and observe. You have the opportunity to observe one meeting, but after that, you must be VIP to continue participating. Also, if you are a guest, if you are not a VIP member, you may not participate in live fire exercises. That is a liability issue. So we really need you to be a member in order to participate in live fire activities. Every single meeting includes some level of presentation or training, and then a live fire exercise. The exception to that is when we have virtual meetings, which does occur on occasion for whatever reason. Maybe the weather's not working with us, or we might have a month like we did in June where everything was just happening, graduations and Father's Day and Juneteenth, and all kinds of things are taking place. And so it was more feasible at that point to just have a virtual meeting. So you'll see those as well. And those virtual meetings will be posted just as our physical meetings are whenever they take place. So again, welcome to everyone. Those are our meeting details. Keep in mind, we also do things in addition to those meetings. So we might have range meetups. We have some virtual things that are going on, and there's a lot more that's coming. So I'm going to share a little bit of that. But before I do, let me just pause for a minute and acknowledge our executive leadership team. Some of you know them, some of you may not know them. And actually, I'm just going to quickly share my screen here so I can show you our website. Let's see here. You should see my screen here, and you can see our homepage. This is our website. If you go to meet our team, I just want you to see the faces of these lovely ladies who are working on your behalf. You'll see here our executive leadership team. So I'm a part of that, as well as Yolanda Barksdale. Yolanda is in charge of all of our public relations. So you all will see on our website that we have a section that basically talks about media. Talks about posts and articles that have been written about our group. She helps to work with that. She also helps to make sure that none of us say anything that we should not say. As you can imagine, right now, 2A is very volatile. There's a lot of controversy as we have more mass shootings and so forth, more tragedies that, of course, none of us are wanting. We have to be extremely careful in how we deal with the media. She is very professional and does this for a living, so she really keeps us on our toes in terms of what we should and should not say. Also, Deandra, you'll see right to the right of her. Deandra is another key member of our team who's been with Inner Peace from the beginning. She works with our community outreach quite a bit. So as you all know, community outreach is key for us. It's a center of what we do. And Deandra has been organizing lots of outreach activities. She's got some family things that have been going on, good news, and I'll let her share that later. But she's been on break for just a little while, but you will see her very active again here at the end of the summer. And in the meantime, if any of you have organizations you would like to see us support, any outreach activities you'd like for us to participate in, please reach out to any of us and we will make sure that that takes place. On the far right, you'll see Keela, who has been helping out with membership. So many of you saw her, especially at the beginning when we were kicking off the VIP membership program. She has also recently become a USCCA training counselor. So she's doing some things, I believe, with Maryland Concealed Carry, as well as her business, Armed to Educate. So you will see her being involved in those types of areas as well. And then, of course, there on the second line, you'll see our chapter leadership team. So I am currently leading up the Raleigh chapter, and you will see a beautiful picture of Andrea, who is launching, as I previously mentioned, the Spring Lake or Fayetteville area chapter. So if you have any questions about who to contact, you can always go to our website. And while you are there, if you go to the events page here, you will also see all the information about our monthly meetings. So especially those of you who are new, who aren't quite sure, how to get to what you're looking for. If you go here, you'll see all of the meeting information, what's coming up next, how to register, how to contact the people who are in charge of those meetings, topics, and so forth. You'll also see here our monthly POM sessions that we are kicking off. If you are in the group, you probably saw a recent announcement of that. Our first one is going to be August 29th, and we will be alternating between Monday and Thursday evenings for these sessions. These sessions will be in addition to our physical monthly meetings. So again, another online opportunity for you to get the training that you need. The last thing I'll mention from our website is, of course, our VIP membership here. So if you are in the group and you're not clear on how to become a VIP member, you just go to the website and click on that link. All the information you need is here. As you scroll down, you will be prompted at the very beginning to select your membership type. So we want to know if you are joining us for the first time or if you are renewing your annual membership. As you fill out the form and come here to the bottom, you will be able to select your home chapter, whether that is Raleigh or Spring Lake. Now, keep in mind, there is no restriction. If you are, lucky and blessed enough to live in between and you want to go to both Raleigh and Spring Lake meetings, you are absolutely more than welcome to do so. There is no limit to the number of chapter meetings that you may participate in. That being said, if you are not near a chapter, and you would like to see an inner peace chapter opened in your area, please reach out to me directly. There are a few things that we would like to have in place. Namely, we do need a certified instructor who is insured to be a chapter leader. So again, it's important that the chapter leader be a certified instructor. It needs to be someone who is trained and someone who is insured to help guide a group of ladies who have guns in their hands, right? So that's very, very important. We also want to make sure that you have at least 5 to 10 ladies, depending on your area, that are interested, and a potential range where you can meet for live fire exercises. If you can tick those boxes, please reach out to me and let's talk about how to get an inner peace chapter in your area. All right, so I will stop sharing that here. Again, if you have questions, go ahead and drop those in the chat for me. Otherwise, I'm going to keep chatting along with some updates here for you. Dates, things that are going on in the next month. As I mentioned, our Spring Lake chapter, the launch meeting is July 28th in Spring Lake at Silhouettes. So I want you to go ahead and plan to be there if you are in that area. I will be there along with Andrea to answer all of your questions, to explain to you how Inner Peace came about, to dig into our vision just a little bit more, and also to give you some direction on where we are going. Next Wednesday, July 20th, ladies, IDPA match. IDPA match. So IDPA is the International Defensive Pistol Association, the International Defensive Pistol Association. We have been going to represent Inner Peace every single month. This always occurs, I believe it's the third month of each, the third Wednesday of each month at On Point in Raleigh. And we are slowly building a competitive shooting team within Inner Peace. You do not have to have experience, but what you do need are the following. You need to be able to safely draw your firearm from a holster. I guess it goes without saying, you need a holster. You need a firearm. You're going to need about 60 to 75 rounds of ammunition for each competition night. You need extra magazines. I recommend at least 2 in addition to the one that might be in your gun at any given time. So we'll say 3 magazines total. You need to be safe, you need to be willing to learn, and you need to come ready to have some fun, right? Those matches start at 7 o'clock p.m. We're usually out around 10 p.m. And again, it's just lots of fun. If you want to join our team, you're going to go to practicescore.com. That's SCORE.com, practicescore.com, and you're going to sign up for the IDPA match in Raleigh. It's at On Point, and you will join Squad 3. Squad 3 is all Inner Peace folks, so our name should look familiar to you. I believe it's $21 to join. We will go out, we support each other, we have a ball. So if you're new to competition, it's absolutely okay. We are slowly building a team, and once we have a steady team, I have promised that we will get Inner Peace jerseys, shooting jerseys, which are really, really nice. And those shooting jerseys will be made available only to those ladies who are consistently representing Inner Peace at a competitive shooting match, whether that be IDPA, USPSA, GSSF, or any of the other competitive shooting opportunities. August 14th, Sunday, August 14th, that is a second Sunday in August at 5 o'clock p.m. We will have our regular meeting for the Raleigh chapter at Eagle One, and our topic is going to be Rifles 101. So this was one of our more popular meetings last year, and so we're bringing it back this year. If you have never shot a rifle, or if you're interested in rifles but you're not quite sure what to buy, this is the meeting that you want to attend. I am going to have a long list of different rifle types and actions that everyone can try. Now, I call these rifle light, right? Because we're at an indoor range, so all of them are chambered in .22 caliber. That helps us with a few things. It helps to manage recoil. It helps to make sure that you're mastering the basics, but it also gives us the opportunity to shoot indoors. So I always throw that out with a grain of salt. I love rifles, but it's not, if you're a rifle shooter, this is going to be a little bit, it's going to lack a little luster because you're not going to get the booms. We're not shooting 5.56 or 300 blackout. We're going to be shooting .22 just so that we can stay indoors. But you will have an opportunity to learn about and experience shooting lever action rifle, a pump action rifle, semi-automatic, including an AR platform, bolt action rifles. Come out if you're not familiar. We'll talk about all the nomenclature. We'll give you an opportunity to shoot those, to learn how to stand, learn how to get your grip, your sights, and so forth. So very informative meeting coming up on August the 14th. August 29th, we will have our first monthly Peace of Mind interaction. That engagement is going to include our POM 101, which is a basic handgun course. For those of you who are new to Inner Peace, we have our own training program, which I think is phenomenal. What we do is we pair up brand new shooters with a certified instructor so that you have a personal mentor and one-on-one range time at a seriously discounted rate. The way that works is we have 3 sessions in our program, our Peace of Mind mentorship program. All of those sessions are comprised of USCCA mini courses. So at the conclusion, you will receive an official USCCA certificate as well as an Inner Peace certificate. POM 101 is being offered on August 29th. That's our basic handgun course. POM 102 is developing a home defense plan, and POM 103 is your introduction to defensive shooting. Each of these classes are offered free of charge to VIP members online, VIP only. And then if you choose to complete the live fire portion of the course and get those certificates, you'll be teamed up with a certified instructor who has agreed to give you a discounted private instruction rate of $40. So you would meet them on the range. They're going to walk you through all of the review for that lesson, all the safety, and get you on the appropriate trigger. For POM 101 basic handgun, you're going to shoot a basic course of fire with a handgun chambered in .22 LR. For home defense, which is POM 102, you will have an opportunity to shoot a rifle and a shotgun, as well as your own handgun, to determine which you feel would be better for home defense. And then for POM 103, you will bring your own handgun, your defensive handgun, so preferably whatever you carry, and you will shoot a course of fire for a defensive situation. All of those under the tutelage, again, of a personal mentor who is also a certified instructor. So keep your eyes open for that. One more announcement that I would like to make is that we have, when I say we, in conjunction with E3 Personal Defense, which is the training company that I own and the corporate sponsor for Inner Peace, E3 Personal Defense has secured some classroom space that will allow us to have additional sessions outside of the range. So many of you have been asking about how to handle mass shooter situations. We've talked about live simulation training. So, when we're put in certain situations, how would we react? What's the right thing to do? Gun cleaning seminars. All of these things we will be offering starting in August. We're just working through some calendar issues. Conflicts, I should say, with my own personal schedule. So there will be opportunities for Inner Peace through E3 Personal Defense for that as well. So any of these things that are not necessarily requiring live fire, but still very pertinent to our personal protection and safety, they will be offered as well. And we have some classroom space that's been secured for us to handle those seminars. Also, if any of you are familiar with the NRA Refuse to Be a Victim program, that is another option as well that is offered, where we just talk about basic situational awareness, how to stay safe. What if you're traveling? How do you protect yourself online? All of those types of things. So more to come on those types of situations and courses. And if you have ideas about seminars that you would like to, partake in, or information you'd like to hear about, let us know. But do know that at the top of the list, I put out a poll a few weeks ago and I heard you loud and clear. We will definitely get on the calendar as a priority a mass shooting response course. We will also have on the calendar a gun cleaning course for sure, and a live situational training that we'll do as well, where we will actually do some simulation training in the classroom, different situations, to determine whether or not you should draw your gun, whether or not you should run, whether or not you should go for pepper spray, whatever the case may be. That will be a lot of fun, and we will be doing that as well. So I have taken up now 20 full minutes with just updates. We have a lot going on, a whole lot going on. And so definitely want you to get involved. That being said, ladies, if any of you are interested in helping with initiatives, helping with community outreach, please reach out to us. We do want to do more, but we need more people involved. Our ELT, myself, one thing I love about Inner Peace is that we are all ladies, we're all women who are out here making waves in the world. We're all doing things. I'm in ministry. I have a corporate job. I'm doing things. I'm trying to be a mom and a wife. And then I have this, right? All of the ladies in our leadership team have the same story. They're all successful in business. They're all moms or wives. They're in school. People are doing things. We are making impact in the world outside of just this gun thing. So I enjoy that about us, but it also means that our time is limited, right? So we are looking for others to jump in and join hands with us, lock arms with us, and let's get some things done and make sure that we are known in the community. That's very, 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 very important for us. So that's all I have for announcements. If there are any questions, make sure you drop those in the chat. I want to spend a few moments now just talking about the gun, if I may. A couple of things that you all may have heard me say over the last few weeks, or maybe you've seen some posts that I just want to touch on. First, I want to reiterate what I've been preaching and teaching for the last week. I teach a lot of students, literally hundreds of students every single year. A couple of years, we were real close to the thousands, okay? Lots of students. Many of them are ladies. And over time, you start to see trends. One trend that I really, really, really want to spend some time attacking is this trend in an idea that because of our anatomy as ladies, we are supposed to carry a teeny tiny itsy bitsy gun. That is a fallacy. If you look at any of the professional shooters, any of these ladies out here who are sponsored by Glock or sponsored by Walther or sponsored by Smith & Wesson or anybody, pick your poison, right? All of them carry full-size firearms. I want to encourage all of you that have these little itty bitty cute Ruger LCP9s and these little itty bitty cute Glock 43s. There's nothing wrong with those guns. They are wonderful. They do their job. Those are called micro pistols, and micro pistols exist for a reason. What they don't tell you at the gun store is that micro pistols are, well, should be reserved for those who are very experienced and very skilled shooters. Why? Because they are harder to shoot. As a general rule, the larger and the heavier your firearm is, the easier it's going to be to shoot. Now, ladies, there are all kinds of holster options out here right now. And as women, we're creative. We figure out how to carry on our body whatever we want to carry. If you don't believe me, think back to Big Mama and how she had a wallet on this side of her bra. And she could put a baby bottle in this side of her bra. And then even now, we will carry keys, we will carry cell phones, anything within our brassiere. Okay, we know how to carry things. So I want you to erase from your mind the excuse that I cannot carry a larger gun. A complete full-size firearm, a government-size 1911 may be difficult. So what I would like for us to do, and what I'd like for us to begin to promote, is that as ladies, instead of going immediately for the micro pistol, let's start to at least aim for the compact size. What is a compact size? Something comparable to a Glock 19 or a Glock 48. I like 1911, so something comparable to a commander size 1911, right? The Shield, something around that size is what we actually want to start aiming for. And as you're talking to other ladies who are shopping for a firearm, remember, bigger is better. You must select to carry the largest firearm in the largest caliber that you can shoot well, consistently, and accurately. Then we will figure out how to hide it on your body. Why is that so important? One word: liability. Liability. These smaller guns are snappy, and they're snappy because it's hard to get your grip on those smaller guns. We know, right, from physics and from the fundamentals of shooting, the more real estate that I can get in my hand, the more control I have over the recoil. And the more control I have over the recoil, the more accurate my shots are going to be. How does accuracy tie to liability? Well, if you're not shooting that gun on point at the range when there's no interference, imagine what's going to happen when your heart rate is elevated, when your hands are sweaty, when you are scared out of your mind and you are in survival mode. You're going to likely be less accurate. So if you have in your hands some itty bitty micro pistol that you already cannot control, and God forbid you're in a situation where you have to defend your life with that, more than likely you're going to have additional issues. You're going to hit something or someone unintentionally. That's where liability comes in. And because you have been educated, an attorney, a judge, or a jury are going to expect that you would have known that gun was unsafe for you to operate. So that's why we want to go bigger. Okay, a larger firearm is always best. If you like the little micro pistols, I know some of you have shot my little Kimber Micro 9. I love it. But I'm telling you, before I actually carried that gun, I trained with it for almost 2 years straight until I was on it, on point, on point. That is not a beginner gun. Had I picked up that firearm when I first started shooting, I would not be shooting today. There's no way, right? So find what's good for you, but please do not let these folks behind the counter talk you into some little itsy bitsy solution, not unless you have experience. It can be a problem for you, okay? The other thing I want to talk about quickly while I'm here, let's talk about the proper grip. Got my yellow gun, y'all, my inner peace training gun. Let's talk about the proper grip just as a review, because this is something that we can never hear too many times, right? My strong hand, the web of my hand that you see right here, I want that as high up into the tang, the backstrap of my gun as possible. And I'm going to wrap my fingers around. I want this finger, this thumb, to float up because that gives me more control over the gun. It helps me to squeeze it a bit more tightly. And what I'm doing is I'm applying pressure here that's pushing toward the back of the firearm. And the pressure that I'm applying from my palm here is pushing forward. So this front and back pressure is giving me control over that gun with this grip. When I turn it to the other side, you can see here, there's no air or space. No air or space. That's very important because that's what's going to give me control over my recoil, especially if I'm firing a bit more rapidly. Now, with my support hand, I'm going to take up all this space. Now, mind you, if I'm shooting single-handed, this is all I've got. So the higher this thumb is, the more control I have, right? But I'm going to go ahead and apply the two-handed grip. So the meaty part of my hand here, my support hand, is going to take up all of that real estate. I want to touch the grip of the gun. So this goes back to exactly what I was just saying. I want to make sure that the most possible meat is touching the gun. That gives me more control. Notice where my thumbs naturally are, right? So my palm is touching the gun. It's slightly in front of my strong hand. I'm going to wrap all of my fingers around on top of my strong hand there. And you can see now my thumbs are both pointing forward. This is the grip. This is what I want to see on this side. The gun is covered all the way around. Finger is high up on the frame, off the trigger until I am 100% absolutely ready to shoot. This is what we want to see in your grip every single time. This is one of the biggest issues that we see on the range with people shooting, because what happens is, as you're taking your shot, I'm going to take my first shot and I get recoil. And I take my second shot and I get recoil. Look now at where my hand ends up. You can see this air and space, right, between the tang. And I said at the beginning, when you've got an appropriate grip, you don't want any air or space there. This is allowing recoil to cause movement with my firearm, and that's what I don't want. That's going to get me off target. So as you are shooting, one of the things you want to practice is taking a shot taking a shot and not readjusting your hands between every shot, making sure that you're actually holding on to the gun and applying the pressure that's required to hold on to it and control it. In other words, we want you to drive the gun. Don't let the gun drive you. You drive it. You control the gun. Don't allow it to control any aspect of what you are doing. If you cannot get your hands around your firearm enough to control that recoil, then let's talk. Let's talk about an alternative. Now, I don't want anybody to go and throw your gun away. There are very few bad guns out there. I'm not going to say there aren't any, because there are some, but there are very few bad guns. Sometimes the gun just isn't right for us right now. So you have options. What happens, Joy, if I have the wrong firearm? A couple of things you can do. You may be able to trade it. You could gift it or sell it, or you could hold on to it. It might have a future use, or it might have an alternative use. You might have a firearm that doesn't work well to carry, but maybe it's great for home defense. Let's talk about it. You know, we don't want to go, I don't know about y'all, but I don't have $500, $600, $700, $1,100 to just be thrown away, right? So if you have a firearm that you absolutely hate or is just not working for you, don't be discouraged. You have options. You don't have to lose your money, right? We don't have to lose your investment. Let's talk about some options to get you what you need for the purpose you're trying to fill, but at the same time, protect your wallet. I am all about protecting that dollar. Very, very, very important. One other thing that I want to talk about this morning, if there aren't any questions, I want to talk about your trigger. So I have a SIRT pistol here. Another issue we see on the range, especially with the ladies, is that we don't understand trigger reset. Okay. We're slapping the trigger, just, trying to get that shot off, just slapping the trigger. I want to talk for a minute about trigger reset. What I would like for you to do with your firearm completely empty. Now, this is a SIRT pistol. This is a training pistol, no ammo. The slide doesn't work, nothing like that. Okay. With your trigger, when you pull that trigger, you should find a wall on your gun. That is the wall of your trigger. This is the breaking point where if I push any further, I'm going to hear the trigger break and I'm going to feel it break. When I release that tension, slowly, you'll hear that little click. That is my reset. That's the point at which my trigger has reset and can be depressed again to fire another round. When I'm firing rapidly, I'm never taking my finger off the trigger, and I'm only stopping at the trigger reset point. I'm not coming all the way up. See all this extra creep before I take my finger off. So if you're struggling with speed or if you're struggling with accuracy, practice with your firearm, learning where your trigger reset point is. That's going to help you with a couple things. First is your trigger control. Because remember, we're not slapping the trigger. We want a smooth compression of the trigger. So press like you're dragging a knife through butter. That is how you want to engage your trigger straight to the rear, trying not to interrupt those sights because you don't want to come off target, right? So smooth compression of the trigger. When you start to speed up, you're not going to remove your finger completely from the trigger between rapid shots. You're going to keep the pad of your finger in contact with that trigger and only release that compression to the point of reset. That is how you stay smooth, and over time, you begin to speed up a little bit. When we run defensive courses and get into double taps and triple taps and movement, we see a lot where people are just slapping that trigger. Certainly, we want your finger to come completely off the trigger and high up on that frame when you're not shooting. But if you are engaged in a string of rapid fire, then your finger should be in contact with the trigger to make that happen. So please get familiar with your trigger reset if you have not already. Very, very important. All right, we've got a question or comment here. A good holster for concealed carry. Let me tell you, I have a holster graveyard in my nightstand. Everybody does. We all go through hundreds sometimes. I won't say hundreds, we'll say tens of holsters before you find the one that fits you. There are a few that I absolutely like. And let's see, I'm going to play around with this new platform that we've got here. And let's see if I can add here a couple of these websites. So one, I'm going to add Can Concealment. I believe it's canconcealment.com. Can Concealment. Oh, nope, I spelled it wrong. Let's see. There we go. Concealment.com. I forgot a couple letters there. So let's try it again. So concealment.com. I believe that's the correct address. Concealment.com is one place where you can go to get a belly band. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and look there. Let me just share my screen here. And let's take a look. See if I can get the right websites here. So canconcealment.com. This is a belly band that I highly, highly, highly recommend. I absolutely love their belly bands. If I had to dismiss all of the holsters currently in my collection and only keep one, this is probably the one I'd keep just because it's the most versatile. So Can Concealment, they specialize in these belly bands that come in different sizes. One thing that I love about them is that they are very, very, very extremely well made. They're very durable. The one that I have had for years, and then I've bought two since that first one. You can hide so many things. These come with a variety of pockets, a variety of styles. So feel free to go on there and take a look. I absolutely love my Can Concealment holster. Another holster that I love, a holster company I love, is called Dean Adams. So Dean Adams specializes in women's holsters, all types of women's holsters. And you can see here, they also carry a belly band. I prefer the Can Concealment belly band, but Dean Adams has some other things that I absolutely love. They have a corset holster, for example, that I love. Let's see if I can see it. Here's one of the waistbands here. Let's just scroll down. These are the corset holsters that I absolutely love. They double as shapewear. So, you know, if you're wearing a fitted skirt or suit or even some of the dresses, this is a wonderful option. Again, doubles as your shapewear, so you don't have to put on, in addition to this, your girdles and all that good stuff. Absolutely love it. The other product that I absolutely love by them is this thigh holster here. You've also heard me mention the one by the Well-Armed Woman, but this one has slowly creeped up as my favorite, even over that one. Basically, it's Spanx, the shorts that you would put on, compression. Again, doubles as shapewear. You put on the compression and the gun goes right inside of the thigh. So I often hear the question of, you know, what about thigh rub? Well, Joy has thigh rub, but I do not feel my firearm when it's in this holster. This is a great and an excellent option, especially as I just mentioned, if you're carrying a larger gun, this is an excellent option. A lot of times, ladies, if we're going to have issues carrying that larger gun, it's going to be when we carry it on our waist with a belt. That's where we're going to feel it. But you're not going to feel a larger firearm in this thigh holster. You're also not going to feel the effects of a larger firearm in something like this corset. It's you know, no different. So these are really, really great options to have. Both of these companies, as you can see, have multiple options that you can consider, but I will give you this warning here. There are some what I call creative holster options, especially, you know, with these belly bands and these corsets. People will turn them around and, you know, they'll put the guns in their back and that kind of thing. I'm not a fan. You want to be able to get to the gun easily. So something behind my back, I'm not going to be able to get to that easily, right? So you want to be really careful and make sure that you are selecting the right holster for you and it's going to fit your purposes. Now, I don't wear a lot of belts unless I'm shooting. I'm not a belt fan. I just recently started wearing jeans in recent years. But if you need to get that traditional IWB or OWB, which, by the way, inside the waistband, outside the waistband, that's what that means. I really love crossbreed holsters. So let's see if I can find the website here for crossbreed holsters. Here we are. Crossbreed holsters are going to carry more of your traditional holsters, and I absolutely love these if, you know, I need something on my waistband. You can see they have this waist rubber band. It's not really the band with all the pockets or whatever, but this is nice if you're a person who doesn't wear belts. You basically can just Velcro the band around your body up under anything that you have on, and then lock on your regular holster. So if you are a person who already has a bunch of holsters and you just, you know, nothing's working for you and you don't want to wear pants, you want to be able to wear your joggers or you want to be able to wear your yoga pants, you can put this bad boy around your waist, clip your existing holster on, and you are good to go. For the traditional holsters, I love, love, love any type of their hybrid holster. So when you all hear me talk about a hybrid holster, what I'm describing is something that looks like this. So you'll notice the back part of the holster is made out of leather. That is the part that goes against your skin. I like this because it eventually warms to your skin and molds to your shape. It is extremely comfortable. And it also, as you can see here, it covers all the sharp edges of your gun so nothing is digging into your side. I don't know about you ladies, but I have some fluff. So I don't like the edges of my gun digging into my side. And having this barrier, if you will, made out of leather is phenomenal. The other thing I love about this is actually the Kydex on top. I'm not a huge fan personally of all leather holsters because they become difficult to draw from and to reholster. And a lot of times, negligent discharges, accidents happen when you're trying to load a firearm into a tight leather holster. By having this Kydex, I still get sort of that click. You know, my firearm still clicks in place. I don't have to worry about retention. It's going to stay put, but I kind of get the best of both worlds, right? Because I've got the Kydex on the outside, but I've got that leather on the inside, so that Kydex is not sticking into my fluff. And I absolutely adore these. They come for, you know, all types of firearms. Pick and choose the one that works for you. You can choose which side you want to carry it on. And again, there are multiple styles that you can get from Crossbreed. Many of them have the leather on the back side. And by the way, that band I was talking about here is called the Liberty Band. That's really nice if you just need something, again, versatile that doesn't cost as much as the belly band. That can concealment belly band that I love is going to run you around 80 bucks. If you're not quite ready to make that kind of commitment, use this Liberty Band for a while. It works great. A great solution, honestly. So that's going to be my other recommendation for holsters. All right, let's see what we've got in the comments here. Someone asked, do you wear something next to your skin? That is a great, great question. So a lot of times when you have on a holster, a lot of the shooters, especially those who shoot a lot, will tell you they like a barrier garment. So I know a lot of ladies who will wear, you know, like a Spanx shirt or a tank top, something up under their clothing to create a barrier between the gun and their skin. That's the reason that I like the Crossbreed holsters that I was just telling you about, especially when it's hot. I don't always want an extra layer or barrier under my clothes. That it's too much. So I like having that leather so that it can, you know, sit against my skin and create that barrier for me. I also enjoy, for that same reason, those corsets by Dean Adams, right? Or even the shorts that I showed you. They all give you a barrier between your skin, so the gun itself is not sitting on your skin. You're not chafing, you're not worried about sweat getting all down into your action. You're not worried about those things because the holster in and of itself, belly band as well, creates a barrier for you. So that is a personal choice. I do know, again, a lot of shooters who wear minimal holsters, maybe just Kydex, and so they're still dealing with the handle of their gun. When I talk about the handle of their gun, so if they're carrying, they're still dealing with this part of their gun sort of touching their skin if they don't have that barrier. So sometimes those ladies have been known to wear a barrier garment, basically a tank top or shapewear up underneath. So that's an option as well. You want to go with whatever is going to be the most comfortable for you. All right. So that last provider that I showed, I think someone asked me to share that again. That is crossbreedholsters.com. Crossbreed holsters. I've also shared Dean Adams, Dene Adams, and Can Concealment. Those are my favorite holster brands by far, by far. All right. One other thing I want to talk about, ladies, is ammunition. So I get a lot of questions, especially, we just came out of, or I hope we're coming out of, this big ammunition shortage. And a lot of people were shooting ammunition that is not brass. So basically, they are shooting casings that are aluminum, steel, this stuff that's made in other countries, so forth, so on. Wear and tear on your gun is a thing over time. So I always recommend that you use brass ammunition casings only. I know all the other stuff is cheaper, it's less expensive, but hear me out. One, there are many ranges that will not allow casings outside of brass, and that's for multiple reasons, namely fire hazards, right? Also, keep in mind that brass is used for ammunition for a reason. It's a soft metal that easily expands and contracts. When everything happens on the inside of the inside of your gun when you're firing, there's a whole lot of stuff that's gonna, happen, down here in the house, as I like to call it, where the ammunition is sitting, all the way through the travel in the barrel. When you pull that trigger, right, and you've got one round in the chamber, there's a lot of stuff happening in the chamber or the house, mainly a small explosion. Pretty much, right? So what happens is your firing pin comes in contact with the primer, which is on the base of your cartridge. When that primer is struck, basically it's going to cause a flame, if you will, and that's going to light all of the powders inside of your cartridge. And that's building the pressure that basically is going to push the bullet out of the muzzle end of your barrel, and it forces your slide back. And then, of course, your slide forces forward. All of that is inertia driven from the gases that come from your ammunition. Well, when that happens, brass expands, right? And because it expands, it allows the bullet to propel forward without any issues, and that brass is going to spit out. Well, if you use a metal that is not malleable, it's going to cause additional friction. It also is not going to manage that pressure or even that heat as well. And so as a result, it becomes a fire hazard as deemed appropriate by many indoor ranges that will not allow you to shoot it. And over time, it can also wear down on the lands and grooves or the rifling on the inside of your barrel. I said a lot there. All of that is a lot. But long story short, stick with brass. It's better for your gun. The ranges will allow you to shoot it. And it costs a little bit more, but it is the gold standard. Everything else is substandard, right? It's a workaround. And you don't want to deal with a workaround, especially if you're practicing like you should, 200 rounds a month, right? If you're practicing like you should, you don't want that wear and tear on your gun. I do not allow people to put anything in my firearms except for brass. So keep that in mind. Last thing on my list to talk about, this is a good segue right into it. Practice, practice, practice. Please make dry fire a part of your practice regimen. Dry fire means that you are triple checking that firearm first and foremost to make sure it is absolutely empty, or you are using a tool that is inert, something like this plastic pistol, to do your practice. You're going to manipulate your trigger, practice your draw. Make sure that you are working on your fundamentals. What does your stance look like? What does your trigger press feel like? Are you able to get your sights on target? These are the things that you're going to be practicing with a completely empty, dry gun. That is part of your 200 trigger presses per month that you need in order to remain proficient. You also want to go to the range and shoot some live stuff whenever possible. Try to get in at least 50 rounds a month of live fire. So you've got your 200 rounds a month that I'm challenging you to. That's inclusive of dry fire, but you want at least 50 rounds of that to be live fire. So you're also managing the recoil with your particular firearm. Keep in mind that Inner Peace is a gun club. And while we offer information and training sessions, this is not where you come to get a full-on instructional course. You need to take firearms training. Even now, I commit to 100 hours of training every single year. Training means that you have paid an instructor to provide to you information, to provide to you opportunities and options, things you haven't thought of or heard of before. You are getting new information, or you are getting information to reiterate what you have already learned. 100 hours a year is what I do, but formal training is absolutely necessary. I've spoken with many of you who have come to Inner Peace meetings, and I say, have you ever taken a training class? And you say no. If you're going to be good at shooting, coming to Inner Peace meetings will help you understand the fundamentals, but truthfully, we just don't have enough time to dig in enough and to work with every single person. A club is different than a training course. So please, 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 we have instructors in the group. I'm an instructor. As I mentioned earlier, E3 Personal Defense and Safety, the company that I own, that's the corporate sponsor for Inner Peace. We have classes all of the time, every single month. If you need to get into a training course, visit my website, e3personaldefense.com. I'm happy to get you into a course. Couple that with the instruction and the activities that you are enjoying in Inner Peace, and you are going to be a solid shooter. You're going to be a solid performer behind that trigger. But remember, this is one tool. It's not going to give you everything that you need to be consistent and proficient behind your trigger. So make sure that you get that training in. I hope that answers the question. Someone asked if I offer training. Absolutely. Once again, my husband and I own E3 Personal Defense and Safety. We train here in Raleigh. If you are in a different area, again, we have a network of instructors here in Inner Peace, all women, and I can also put you in touch with those who are offering training sessions as well. Many of you reach out. We offer concealed carry every single month. We do offer an introduction to handguns course every single month that is appropriate for anyone who is brand new to shooting, including children. So we have quite a few folks who bring their whole family to that class. It's a nice class because it's 3 hours, it's $60. We get you on the X guaranteed. We have a 100% success rate with that. We have never had a student who did not hit the X before they leave that class. So we're going to make sure that we hammer into you the fundamentals so that anything you take after that is just going to sort of be icing, on the cake. So I will share, let's see if I can get my banner to work here. I'll share my website here, e3personaldefense.com. And that's where you will go to sign up for any courses. When you get to that website, and actually, why don't I share my screen and I'll show you really quick here. That way no one has to try and figure out how to find it. So let's see, we'll share quickly. You will go to e3personaldefense.com. On the website, if you want to scroll down to training, you'll see the training button here. And this will show you all of the training courses that we offer. If you would like to see what's on the schedule and go ahead and register, just click here on this button that says class schedule. And that takes you directly to our booking page. So here on our booking page, if you just scroll down, you'll see the calendar. We do show courses, I believe, for the coming 90 days. So anything beyond that, you can call and let us know that you have a question, and we'll let you know when the next available course is that you're looking for. But 90 days worth of courses are listed here. You simply select the class that you would want to enroll in. You can see our Introduction to Handgun course for July is right now sold out. So the next one would be in August. And you would simply click on that and then follow the instructions here. You would select the class and complete all of your registration right there online, get you in the class. If you have any questions, let me know. Also, you can see us on the USCCA page as well. So if you are looking for a USCCA instructor, I am there also. And all of those links will bring you right back to booking with me as well. Let's see. I see some folks that say you're in Raleigh setting up training. Wonderful. We would love to have you. If you have any questions, just reach out and let me know. You can reach out, of course, through E3 Personal Defense or reach out through Inner Peace, either way, and I will be there to support you. All right, ladies, that's all I've got for today. Are there any other questions? I'm just going to give us a few moments here to see if there are any last minute comments or questions that you want to throw in. Okay. All right. And while you're thinking, I really like this platform. This is StreamYard for those of you who, do other types of broadcasts. So I've been looking at this platform for ministry as well as business, and I think I like it. So if you all like it, let me know. If you had any issues, send me some feedback. So we might be using this for inner peace as well if it works, because I think I like it. And over time, we'll start bringing in some guests and some other things. And we'll continue these girl chats as well as our peace of mind sessions monthly. I don't see any comments, so I'm going to go ahead and end it here, ladies. Thank you so much for tuning in. You all be safe, keep your head on the swivel, stay blessed, and I hope to see you soon. Take care now. Bye bye.